Hey viewers, have you ever stopped and thought about the world we live in? It's easy to get caught up in our daily lives, but there are some major global issues happening right now that not many people talk about. Some of these problems affect millions of people, animals, and even the planet itself, and they don't always make the headlines. Today, we're going to take a closer look at some of these important issues that many people ignore. Trust me, some of these might surprise you. Let's start with plastic. Viewers, do you know how much plastic we use every day? It's hard to imagine, but every minute, the world uses about 1 million plastic bottles. And here's the crazy part, plastic takes hundreds of years to decompose. That means the plastic we throw away today will still be around for future generations to deal with. But that's not even the worst part. Did you know that by 2050, scientists predict that there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish? That's right, more plastic than fish. And all of that plastic doesn't just sit there, it gets broken down into tiny particles called microplastics. These tiny bits of plastic end up in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and even in the food we eat. In fact, researchers found microplastics in honey, beer, and even tap water. Isn't that crazy? So, next time you're drinking a bottle of water or eating a fish, remember, you might be eating or drinking tiny pieces of plastic without even knowing it. But plastic pollution isn't the only issue we're facing. Viewers, have you ever thought about food waste? It might seem like no big deal when you throw away leftovers, but did you know that about 1/3 of all food produced in the world is wasted every year? That's around 1.3 billion tons of food. In fact, nearly 800 million people around the world are hungry, and millions of children suffer from malnutrition. Yet, we throw away so much food, sometimes just because it's past its sell-by date or we don't feel like eating it. Think about it, if we could stop wasting food, we could feed billions of people. Imagine how different the world would be if all that wasted food went to the people who need it the most. Now, here's another issue that might surprise you viewers. Did you know that water scarcity is a huge problem in many parts of the world? While some people waste water every day, millions of people don't have access to clean, safe drinking water. In fact, around 2 billion people around the world are living without access to clean water. That's more than the population of China. And the problem is only getting worse. Climate change is causing droughts in places where water used to be plentiful. And this means fewer resources for everyone. The scary part is that if things don't change, some experts predict that by 2025, half of the world's population could be living in areas with water shortages. So, what can we do? Simple things like turning off the tap when brushing our teeth, fixing leaky faucets, and taking shorter showers can help save water. It's important to remember that water is precious, and we can't afford to waste it. Now, viewers, I know you've probably heard about climate change, but do you know how serious it really is? Climate change is causing more than just hotter weather and melting ice caps. It's leading to extreme weather events like hurricanes, wildfires, and flooding. In fact, 2019 was one of the hottest years on record, and scientists predict that temperatures will continue to rise if we don't take action. But it's not just the weather that's affected. Climate change is also hurting animals and ecosystems. In the Amazon rainforest, for example, wildfires are destroying trees and habitats for countless species. Did you know that the Amazon produces 20% of the world's oxygen? Without it, we would have a much harder time breathing and surviving. It's crucial that we take climate change seriously, and one way to do that is by reducing our carbon footprint. This means using less energy, driving less, and even eating less meat, because the production of meat contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. Speaking of ecosystems, here's something that might blow your mind. Did you know that we're losing species of animals and plants at an alarming rate? According to scientists, We're in the middle of the sixth mass extinction event in Earth's history. This means that plants and animals are disappearing faster than ever before. Every year, thousands of species go extinct, and many more are threatened. In fact, scientists estimate that between 150 and 200 species go extinct every day. That's a loss of over 70,000 species every year. And it's not just because of climate change. Habitat loss, poaching and pollution are also to blame. If we don't act now, we could lose some of our most iconic animals like elephants, tigers and rhinos. That's why it's so important to protect wildlife and their habitats by supporting conservation efforts and reducing our environmental impact. But here's a big issue that doesn't get talked about enough: mental health. Did you know that mental health problems affect more than 1 in 4 people around the world? Yet, mental health is still often ignored, especially in younger people. Mental health problems like anxiety, depression, and stress are becoming more common, and yet many people are afraid to talk about it. That's why it's so important to break the stigma around mental health and make sure everyone gets the help they need. Taking care of our mental health is just as important as taking care of our physical health, and we can help by being there for friends and family, talking openly about our feelings, and encouraging others to seek help when they need it. Another issue that's often ignored is education. Believe it or not, millions of children around the world don't have access to a proper education. According to UNESCO, around 260 million children and teens are not in school. That's more than the entire population of the United States. Without education, these kids don't have the opportunity to break free from poverty and build a better future. And it's not just about going to school. It's also about having access to quality education. In many countries, schools are underfunded, and students don't have the resources they need to succeed. By supporting education initiatives and spreading awareness, we can help ensure that every child has the opportunity to learn and thrive. Lastly, let's talk about overpopulation. Right now, the world's population is over 8 billion people, and it's growing every year. That means more people need food, water, and energy. If we don't find a way to manage this growth, we could face some serious challenges, like food shortages, overcrowded cities, and even more pollution. But did you know that overpopulation is also putting a strain on biodiversity? As more people move into new areas, we're destroying habitats and causing species to go extinct. It's a tricky problem, but there are things we can do, like supporting family planning and investing in sustainable development. So, viewers, now that you know about these global issues, what can we do about them? Well, every little action counts. Reducing plastic waste, conserving water, supporting education, and taking care of our mental health are just a few ways we can help. It might feel like we're just one person in a huge world, but when we all come together, we can make a big difference. Thanks for sticking with us through these important issues. If you're ready to take action, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a new video. See you next time, and remember, we can make the world a better place, one small step at a time.